Hey y'all, and welcome to this week's Whiskey Wednesday. Now, I obviously missed last week's Whiskey Wednesday because it was just a mess here in Texas. Y'all live here, you know we had snow, we had ice, we had frozen pipes, we lost power, we lost water, we lost cell towers and internet. You couldn't even drive. Things were crazy. So last week, it was a loss. Finally getting things back together this week, and I'm drinking beer instead of whiskey, and it seems kind of fitting for this song. It's Seven Nights in Ireland by Reckless Kelly, and I gotta say, Reckless Kelly is not a band that comes up a whole bunch when I listen to Texas country music, but they're gonna go down in history with all the greats. They have a ton of amazing songs. Let me just rattle some of the top ones off. Wicked Twisted Road, Crazy Eddie's Last Hurrah, Nobody's Girl, Ragged as the Road, The Last Goodbye I also really like. And so this is a band that should be given more respect than I give them. I just don't personally play them all that often. Anyways, this is Seven Nights in Ireland. It definitely sounds like an Irish jig, and it's about essentially a boy's trip to Ireland. And I just love the opening lines. He says, "The first pub we could stagger to was 12 steps from the plane." So these guys are serious about what they're gonna do on their trip. They stumble out into the street. They're already drunk and high after the first bar, and they say they got 7 more nights. So they're gonna be in for it for quite a while. And you know, Ireland's not a place that I would ever really personally go choose to visit, but these guys sound like they're in for it. And then he just kind of gets into telling stories about the stuff that happened there. So one day they went gambling on this day called Ladies' Day. Apparently it's a very prestigious horse race day in Ireland, in the town of Galway. And Galway, just hearing that word reminds me of the Steve Earle song Galway Girl. Anyways, he says they placed a bet on 50 pounds, which is about $70. And then he says they won 6-1, which means 6 times 70, that's $420. I wonder if that's a metaphor. But after they win, their friend or another bar owner or something invites them in, and they all just party it up and spend the money they won. And by the time they leave that bar, they know everybody by name, and you know, Tom and Pat and Mike and Jim or whoever, and they're just saying, when we leave, save our seats at the pub, and we'll be back when our eyes are dry again after they're done being sad about leaving. Now, that sounds like one hell of a boys' trip to me. I mean, just going drinking in Ireland, I suppose, is definitely on some people's bucket list. So this is a great song. I always have a lot of fun listening to it. And that wraps it up for this week's Whiskey Wednesday. Now, I do have a couple announcements here. Daily Texas Country did just release a brand new playlist. So you may be familiar with some of our other holiday type playlists, Texas Country Christmas, Cinco de Mayo. We just released kind of a Valentine's Day playlist, but this is just about kind of love songs in general. We call it Country Lovin'. And most of these are positive, happy love songs. You're not going to find any breakup songs here, but some of them are kind of funny, like Perfect Girl by JB and the Moonshine Band. It is a little bit humorous. It's not super serious, but you'll see the whole spectrum of love songs on this playlist. So go check it out on Spotify. And remember, we do have a couple t-shirts if you're interested in that. Otherwise, you can check us out on Twitter at DailyTXCountry or on Instagram at DailyTexasCountry, and of course, DailyTexasCountry.com. Happy the weather's warmer. Y'all take care.